How's it going, guys? Josh back again with another POV magic tutorial. Today we're going to be talking about the pinky counts and how to make it very easy to do. So I see this move taught incorrectly so much, and so many people have so many problems with it. Not to mention, so many people can't do it, and they think it's extremely hard, if not impossible for them to do it. But I'm going to explain how that's really not the case, because they've been doing it incorrectly. So to get started, we're not even going to use the deck. We're going to talk about the most important aspect of the pinky count, which is finger independence. A lot of people mistake the pinky count as needing lots of pinky strength or lots of finger strength, and that is not at all the case. Pinky count is all about finger independence. So one way that we can warm up our fingers and gain some more independence with them is to do a finger exercise. Right? So this exercise is, a lot of people think this is a physical thing, but this is actually very, very mental. Okay, so it's more so what's going on in your brain that is controlling the fingers than the actual muscles and muscle memory and muscle strength and stuff like that. So I want to make sure you guys understand that. What we're going to work on is getting finger independence. All we're going to do is try to move the pinky by itself without moving the other fingers at all. Okay, they are going to move a little bit, obviously. The more you try to bend it, the more harder it will be. But just work on just trying to move the pinky independently of the other fingers and then move on to the next finger. So I'll do the ring finger now. Try not to move the other fingers. And remember, this is a very mental and conscious effort. I'm actually trying to extend the other fingers while I try to bend the one finger I'm working on. So for instance, I'm bending this one, but I'm consciously trying to extend these other three fingers here to counteract the muscle group that tries to control all of the fingers together, because there is a muscle group that controls the entire extension of the hand. So I don't want to get into like super medical stuff here, but it is the radial nerve controls that muscle group here, which controls the extension of the wrist and the extension of the fingers. I actually damaged my radial nerve, and it took me 2 months to be able to lift my wrist and lift my fingers like this. So I had a limp wrist for 2 months like this. I actually damaged my radial nerve. So I kind of know a little bit more about this than some other people. But again, what we're trying to do is just move fingers independently. Okay, so just go through each finger, move it independently of the other fingers. Just like this. The middle finger is the hardest one for me. You can see I'm struggling with that one. It's a little bit shaky. It's very, very difficult. Index finger is probably the easiest one for me. But some people can't do this at all. Like, it's impossible for them to move a single finger without moving the other fingers. And people complain that, it's just my anatomy. Like, I can't do it because of my anatomy. Unfortunately, that is not true. Okay? No excuses for this. This is something you can do, but it takes practice. It takes dedication to be able to do things like this. Luckily with the pinky count, it's not that hard, because you just need really to have pinky independence to be able to move the pinky independently of the other fingers, okay? So just do this exercise before you start practicing the pinky count. Do this for a little bit. Try to move each finger, and remembering that this is a mental exercise more than a physical exercise. All right, I want to stress that as much as I can. All right, so just do that, go through all the fingers. Obviously, the thumb can move independently. This should be easy to do for most people. All right, so once you're done warming that up, now let's get into how to actually get into the pinky count. All right, so much like with the double lift tutorial I posted, we're going to utilize a bevel maneuver in order to make the mechanical action much more easy, okay? So to get into it, all we're going to do is, in the action of squaring the deck, we're going to push inwards with our pinky towards the palm and kind of push forwards with the thumb. So it's like kind of trying to push forwards, right? What will happen is we're going to get that twisted type of a bevel that I was showing on the double lift video. You see that? See how it twists and it gets more elongated towards the back? That's what we're looking for. It's not the exact same bevel as I use with double lift, because we're just trying to do it only on this one side here. We're trying to get as wide of a bevel as possible on this bottom right edge here. All right, so the more bevel that we have, the easier it will be to do the pinky count. It will take much less finger strength and dexterity and all that. I do want to stress that we're going to get into this type of get ready after we do something else with the deck. So let's say we just got done controlling the card. Right now, in the action of squaring the deck is when I get ready for the pinky count by beveling. Very simple thing to do. Just push inwards with the pinky towards the palm, right? And you kind of hold that position with the middle finger and the thumb are squeezing in towards each other, and that will hold that bevel like that. So that's step one, getting the bevel. Now let's talk about each individual finger and their role that they play in the pinky count. You have to think of this as all fingers working independently, but also towards the same goal. So the thumb's doing its own thing, pointer finger is going to be doing its own thing, middle finger is going to be doing its own thing, and the pinky's going to be doing its own thing. Ring finger really doesn't come into play with this particular technique, and I'll explain what it's used for, but for the actual count itself, it's not really needed. So I just try to get this finger out of the way. So it usually just goes below my middle finger here, kind of touching the bottom few cards, right, just underneath the middle finger. So this is where my finger positions are for the pinky count I'm doing here. All right, so you got your bevel. Now you got your fingers in position. Take note of where my fingers are, but I also want you to take into account that your fingers are going to be different than mine. You know, I have very long fingers, and they're quite skinny as well. Some people got thick fingers, some people got stubby fingers, some people, you know, got short fingers, whatever. So these exact positions might vary for you. Don't try to copy exactly what I'm doing here. Just try to apply the mechanical concept that I'm trying to get across. So I'm going to explain what each finger does. So as long as you're following along with what each finger is supposed to do, it really doesn't matter that much exactly where they are. It just matters that they're doing the correct action. So let's start with the thumb. The thumb's role in this is going to be to create as much leverage as possible. So the thumb is pushing downwards, and it's also pushing forwards. So it's pushing away from the deck in this direction that I'm pointing. It's also pushing down in this direction towards the floor. So those two things are happening at the same time. Pushing forwards like this, but also down like this. So that's what the thumb's doing. Now for the pointer finger. Pointer finger, again, can be in a lot of different positions. I prefer it kind of up here. Here, here. It could even be on the side of the deck like this if you wanted to, but I prefer it just right here. You can also put it underneath the deck like this if you wanted to. The important thing for the index finger or pointer finger is to push upwards. Okay, so it's going to be pushing up towards the sky, and that's just going to help us bend the deck like so. Okay, you see what's going on there? Like that. Now the next finger that's important is going to be the middle finger. Middle finger is applying pressure diagonally, so that you can see the direction that my middle finger is pointing is coming this way. So this is applying pressure downwards and diagonally at the same time. And that's just happening at the same time that we're creating this bend, okay? So to sit here and practice that, trying to bend the cards, and obviously the pinky is helping bend too right now, but when you actually do the pinky count, the pinky's really not needed. It doesn't have to bend the deck downwards, and I'll explain why in a minute. But if you're just practicing this, I can take my pinky off, just practice bending without the pinky, like this. So it's mostly the thumb doing all the heavy work here. All right, but we don't even need to bend the deck this much. All right, I'm just exaggerating for demonstration purposes. Now, ring finger is just resting. It's not being used for this particular thing, okay? Now, I have an extreme bevel right now. So in theory, it's going to be very easy to do the count. See, I just counted just like that. Very easy. All right, so the more bevel you have, the easier the pinky count. Obviously, that's a little bit ridiculous, you know, holding the deck with that extreme bevel, but hey, I usually kind of kill the wrist a little bit when I do the count, so they really can't even see the counting action. Although with this particular method that I'm using, the card doesn't pop up very much. It's very, very minimal. See, that's all it is. Barely pops up at all. You can't even notice it usually, unless you're staring directly at it. However, a lot of other people, the way they do their pinky counts is in some awkward position like this, and you can see the cards like very clearly. You can see very clearly that they are popping up. See that? Honestly, that's better than most of the pinky counts I've seen on like Instagram and stuff. Most of them is like they bend the cards extreme and then the card goes flying way up. Like it's very noticeable, kind of like that. That's so much more difficult to do as well. This is so much more, infinitely more difficult to pinky count this way than the way I'm showing you right now. All right, so get in a position, get the bevel. Again, remembering thumb pushes this way and down, index pushes up, middle finger pushes down and diagonally, okay? Ring finger's just resting, not really doing anything. Okay, so now let's talk about the pinky. All the pinky needs to do is slide across the bevel like this. It's just dragging across. That's all it's doing. So this is where finger independence comes into play. You want to be able to move the pinky without moving the other fingers. So try practicing those exercises I was talking about, but it should be, pretty straightforward once you actually try it. Just look at my fingers positions and try to somewhat emulate what I'm doing. You don't even have to bend the deck like very hard or anything either for this. Literally, all that's happening is I'm just sliding my pinky down the beveled edge. That's all I'm doing. You're just gonna practice going one card at a time, going down the deck, counting every card. Now, eventually you gotta get this ring finger out of the way to see what happened there. Once I get to the ring finger, it creates a problem. So if you wanna count like a lot more cards, just get the ring finger underneath the deck, going down the entire deck like this. Right? That's gonna build the strength that you need. Try to do the entire deck, one card at a time. So that is the exercise that you're gonna practice. Just keep doing it like that, and you'll find that's much easier. That's essentially how the pinky count works. That's how you make it easy. Get the bevel, you apply the pressure in the right directions, you have your fingers in the right positions, and it becomes very easy. And it's really invisible when you do it this way as well. It's very invisible. You can't even tell the card's popping up. You can't tell there's any fidgeting going on or anything like that. So it's a great pinky count. Super easy to do. So if you're just counting a couple cards, like maybe let's say 2 to 4 cards, 2 to 5 cards, you don't have to worry about the ring finger getting in the way because you're not going to be counting that deep into the deck. So if you're just going to do a double lift, obviously you can just rest your ring finger wherever you want. It's not really that important. So let's work on getting that nice bevel there. And then all we're doing is just dragging our pinky down across the bevel. That's it. Cards will barely pop up. Now, once you're here and you have the amount of cards counted that you want, now we're going to introduce the ring finger. The ring finger's role in this is to catch that edge. So there's a small little break there, and the ring finger comes in and it gets in between the break, and you find the edge. Now, what it's going to do is it's going to push up, but inwards. See how I'm bending the card inwards at the same time? I'll just make it so I have a little hole here I can come in and grab the double from. I want to get it off the deck, okay? We can show the double at that point. So it's super duper easy. Just got to utilize that ring finger to push up and bubble the card like this. The better you get, you don't really have to bubble the card necessarily, but I do like it a little bit because it's creates a little bit more room to actually grab the card and bring it off the deck. So just keep practicing that, and you'll find in no time that the pinky count is much easier than you anticipated. A couple little key things here for the end. I do want to stress that you always want to make sure you're getting in position in the squaring action or in an offbeat. You really don't necessarily need to kill the wrist like this, okay? Because it's very minimal amount of movement. You see how small that is? It's not really visible if you do it correctly. But if you're worried about it, all you need to do is just kill your wrist a little bit. Sometimes I will gesture like this as I'm talking and then do the pinky count in that action. Or for instance, let's say I just control the card to the top. Sometimes I will turn my hand like this and say, where about in the deck do you think that card was? Probably like right around here. And as I'm doing that, I'm literally doing a pinky count. So that's just a nice little way that you can kind of justify the turning of the wrist. So for example, it can be in an offbeat moment and you can just be gesturing and talking, and I just did the count right there. So always try to blend the get ready and the actual count into some kind of a gesture or action. And you can kill your wrist if you want, but the more still your hands are and the more rigid you are, the more noticeable this will be. So just be really relaxed with it. Okay, don't try to get too tensed up or anything. It really doesn't need to be this tensed up move at all. You just get the bevel, get your fingers in the right leveraging positions, right? And then you just do it. So I just counted 2 cards there. Again, it's really hard to see. Anyway, so a takeaway from this video that I want you to leave with is think about how you can utilize this particular technique. What can you use it for? I use it for 2-card Monty because I need to be able to get a break on those 3 cards because I'm going to be doing a triple lift at some point. But I use it before the trick starts. I will actually count 4 cards. So I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Now I can just take that top card off. Now I'm ready to do a triple here. So I can show the card, place it in their hand, show the triple, and then do the switch, okay? It just makes the routine so much easier when you know how to pinky count. Instead of having to do this awkward thing where you push over the cards and get a break, you know, you can just have it all done in secret right in front of them. It doesn't look like you did anything, like you're messing with the cards at all. There's nothing, I'm not hating on this method of pushing over the cards and get a break. It just, it's not a covert move, you know, so you get to use misdirection to do it. And it's not ideal for me. I really prefer the pinky count method because I can just do it in secret and no one will even notice anything. So I can count all the cards I need, display the triple. Okay, super duper easy when you use the pinky count. So just think of your routining in that type of way. Think about how you can utilize the pinky count. Think about how you can build in offbeats so that you can go ahead and execute it when there's nothing going on and it feels very natural. It's a completely hidden move, okay? Always keep in mind, you can just wrist kill and gesture with your hands a little bit before you actually go into the next part. So that's always, you know, you're always able to do that. But the beauty of this pinky count is that it's so minimal, the amount of movement of the cards, that you can just do it right in front of them and they won't see anything. It's barely any movement, okay? So that's another really great thing about this particular pinky count. But it's super simple, super easy, and I really hope that you guys use this. It has improved my magic so much learning how to pinky count. I never get worried about a double lift. I never get anxious or tensed up before a double lift anymore. I never get worried about, you know, if I miss the double lift or if they come split apart, or I never worry about, oh, I need to break under 5 cards for this A-can I'm doing, like, and I don't want to have to do this in front of the spectators. It just gives you so much security as a magician to be able to do the pinky count. There's so much utility in this move. It's incredible. I can honestly say for me that learning the pinky count has given me such a huge boost in confidence with my performances. I know that I'm not going to screw anything up because I know I'm secure. I know what I'm doing. I can feel that I have 2 cards. I know I have 2 cards. And they're all squared up and ready to go. I never have to worry about anything. I can always just come in here and just execute. No issues at all. Okay? So it's a beautiful thing to learn. It really, really is. And I strongly suggest that you incorporate it into your routines. I use this move for all kinds of things, not even a double lift necessarily. Yeah, I just get ready using this all the time. Like, say if I want to do some type of a reversal, for instance, I can use the pinky count for that. Now I reverse a couple of cards and it's hidden in another action. So it's as simple as that, you guys. Use it. Use it, use it, use it for everything. So that's all I really got today for you guys. It's going to be a shorter video, but I do want to stress how amazing this move actually is. Don't let other people discourage you. Don't think that it's so hard. It's really not that hard. If you use the proper technique, it'll be easy. Okay? Utilize the bevel. Utilize the finger independence. It will just become super easy and natural feeling to you. I really do appreciate you guys taking the time to come in and watch this video. Hopefully you can come away from this video with some more confidence and some more abilities with your magic. So please do remember to like and subscribe and hit the bell so you get notified of my new videos. I know I've been kind of slacking off lately, but we're going to be doing a lot more videos here. I think our next video will be on palming. We're going to do a Berg's top palm, so that's hopefully in a few days I'll be working on that and get that out to you guys. I'm always here to help you guys, so leave a comment, send me a message. I'd be happy to give you guys a hand if you're having problems with this move. But I don't want you to overlook the importance of the pinky count. Yes, you can do pretty much everything without it, but once you have it, you're not going to want to be without it. Okay, trust me. You have to really put some effort in and learn the pinky count, and you'll be so happy that you did. It just makes everything easier, everything smoother, everything is more secure. I'm telling you guys. So again, thank you so much for stopping in and watching, guys. I hope again that you guys take this move and utilize it in your routines, and I would love to see how you guys utilize it. So always keep me posted with what you guys are up to. Love seeing people post the videos of the stuff that they learned from this channel. So have fun, guys, and take it easy.